Russian President Vladimir Putin, meanwhile, is accusing the West of ignoring Moscow's security concerns and of using Ukraine as a tool to contain Russia. The Russian president says the West's response to Moscow's demands is far from adequate, but he says he hopes solutions can be found.
Russian President Vladimir Putin accused the U.S. and its Western allies on Tuesday of ignoring Russia's security concerns and deliberately creating a scenario designed to lure Russia into war. In his first direct public comments on the Ukraine crisis for nearly 6 weeks, a defiant Putin showed no signs of backing down from security demands that Western countries have called non-starters and possible excuses to launch an invasion.
We already can see that fundamental Russian concerns were ignored.
Russia is demanding that NATO halt any further enlargement, bar Ukraine from ever joining the alliance, and pull back forces and weaponry from Eastern European countries. Putin said Washington is not primarily concerned with Ukraine's security, but with containing Russia.
That is the problem. In this context, Ukraine is just a tool to reach this goal. It can be reached by various means, by drawing us into a military conflict and making their European allies impose against us those tough sanctions the U.S. talks about today.
Russia has massed more than 100,000 troops on the Ukrainian border, and Western countries say they fear Putin may be planning to invade. Russia denies this, but has said it could take unspecified military action unless its security demands are met. Western countries have rushed to show solidarity with Ukraine. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Tuesday met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kyiv and accused Putin of holding a gun to Ukraine's head to demand changes to the security architecture in Europe. He also warned that any Russian invasion would lead to a military and humanitarian disaster.
And there are 200,000 men and women under arms in Ukraine. They will put up a very, very fierce and bloody resistance. And I think that parents, mothers in Russia should reflect on that fact. And I hope very much that President Putin steps back from the path of conflict and that we engage in dialogue.
Zelensky, who has repeatedly played down the prospect of an imminent invasion, signed a decree on Tuesday to boost his armed forces by 100,000 troops over 3 years. He urged lawmakers to stay calm and avoid panic, saying he had ordered the troop increase, quote, not because we will soon have a war, but so that soon and in the future there will be peace in Ukraine.
And for more on this, let's go to WION correspondent Stuart Smith, who's filed a report from Moscow.
Russia has not managed to achieve what it wanted. The question is whether it uses diplomacy to try and create a suitable compromise, or whether it also involves military action. Russia, of course, has ruled out attacking any other country, including Ukraine. But before these latest statements, there were comments from the Foreign Ministry about military technical measures to be taken if agreement could not be found. And an interesting distinction we're hearing today in Wednesday by the French Foreign Minister, who is giving a completely different picture of the intelligence situation around Ukraine. He says that France is not considering an imminent threat of invasion of Ukraine, which is closer to the position of Ukraine itself, putting it on a very different footing to the United Kingdom and the United States. Notably, Ukraine is not in the NATO military alliance. It's not part of the European Union, but both have been offering support, limited, but support in various ways. The European Union offering over $1 billion in funds for Ukraine to help support it during this very tricky time economically. NATO not committing to sending troops to Ukraine, but some NATO countries have sent defensive and offensive military equipment. Poland, the United Kingdom, the United States at the forefront of that. Also, the Eastern European countries have been sending equipment. NATO and the United States have ruled out actually helping Ukraine militarily should there be an invasion. But the point of President Volodymyr Zelensky is that should Russia enter Ukraine, any other country could be next. And so NATO is taking precautions by moving troops to Eastern Europe, countries like Poland, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, which share a border with Belarus. That's notable right now because Russia is undertaking drills with Belarus, and so Russian forces are now close to NATO's eastern perimeter.